Hi everybody, welcome back to KALYAN'S world. Today we shall discuss a poem by Robert Frost, A Roadside Stand. Robert Frost is one of the greatest American poets. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening, birches, mending walls are a few of his well-known poems. In this poem, A Roadside Stand, Frost presents the lives of poor, deprived people with pitiless clarity and with the deepest sympathy and humanity. Now let's see the first two lines of the poem. The little old house was out with a little new shed in front at the edge of the road where the traffic sped. The little old house was out with a little new shed. As you know, the poem is about a roadside stand put up on the roadside. So it was in front at the edge of the road. Edge of the road means the side of the road. It was in front of an old house, a little old house. You know, the people who lived there are very poor because the house was little, it was small, and it was old. It wanted renovation. They had no money for that. The little old house was out with a little new shed. So there was a little new shed, a roadside stand in front of the little old house. In front at the edge of the road where the traffic sped. Here traffic means the cars and other vehicles from city. So traffic sped. Sped means moved fast. So on the road the traffic sped, and at the edge of the road, on the side of the road, they put up a roadside stand, a small shed. And the small shed, it was a shabby shed. It was in front of the old house. As Frost is a poet of contrasts, you can see a contrast used in the first line itself. The little old house is contrasted to the new shed. Now let's see the next four lines. A roadside stand that too pathetically pled. It would not be fair to say for a doll of bread, but for some of the money, the cash whose flow supports the flavor of cities from sinking and withering faint. A roadside stand that too pathetically pled. Pathetically means miserably. The poor people have put up a roadside stand on the side of the road in front of their house. It's a kind of requesting or begging the city people for some of the money. The cash whose flow supports the flavor of cities from sinking and withering faint. Sinking and withering faint means perishing or dying out. The flavor of cities. The poet refers to the rich and prosperous city dwellers. The flavor of cities. So what supports or what saves the flavor of cities from sinking, from dying out, from withering, from perishing is the flow of cash. The cash whose flow supports the flavor of cities from sinking and withering faint. And now let's say the second line. It would not be fair to say for a doll of bread. The poet expresses his sympathy for the poor people who have put up the roadside stand. He says it's not for a means of living. It would not be fair. It's very unfair to say it's for a doll of bread, but it's for some extra money, part of the city money that would save them, that would enable them to have a better life. Let's see the poetic devices used in these lines. A roadside stand that too pathetically pled. Here, the poet says that the roadside stand is a kind of begging for some of the money. So a roadside stand is said to be pathetically begging for some of the money, so it's personification. But if we take only the last two words of that line, first line, pathetically pled, so it's alliteration because per sound, the initial consonants are repeated, pathetically pled. When you come to the last line of these four lines, flavor of cities, reference to flavor of cities. Metaphorically, the poet refers to the city dwellers, the people, the rich people, the prosperous people. So it's a metaphor. But if you take the whole line together, the flower of cities from sinking and withering faint is agrarian imagery. It's imagery related to agriculture or farmland, farming and all, withering of flowers and all. But actually in CBSE marking schemes, if you analyze, only 1 or 2 times imagery is accepted as a poetic device. But so if the last line, poetic device in the last line here, if it is asked, better go for metaphor. The dominant poetic device is metaphor. Now let's see the reference to context questions asked from these lines. First question, it was asked in 2009. Why was the new shed put up? Where? And what was its purpose? Where was the new shed put up? You know the answer, where, on the side of the road. And why? What was its purpose, or why was it set up? Why was it put up? To earn some money. Second question, why does the poet use the word pathetic? Why does the poet use the word pathetic? So CBSE marking scheme says the state of the shed or how pathetically their attempt failed. So you can write any one of this. So their attempt to get a part of the city money failed miserably, failed pathetically. That's why the word pathetic is used. Who are referred to as the flower of city? So rich and the prosperous people, the city dwellers, the rich and prosperous city dwellers is the answer. You should remember Robert Frost is one of the favorites of the examiners. So always you should expect some questions from this poem. You can see in 2008, 2011 and 2013, the same question was repeated. What was the plea of the folk who had put up the roadside stand? What was the plea? So why did they put up the roadside stand, or what was the plea? The plea to the city dwellers to stop and buy their goods so that they could earn money for a decent life. So it was a plea for the city money. Or they also wanted a flow of cash for better standard of living. That's the end of the first part of A Roadside Stand. Please subscribe this video and share it. Let it help your friends too. For any further query, feel free to mail at dosekalyan32@gmail.com. Please subscribe to get notifications of the remaining videos of this poem. Bye.